Electrocast.
There's a change happening in the way we live, the way we work, the way we spend our money and make our decisions. We are evolving to be more conscious in our actions in a way that serves the world and makes it a better place. Welcome to the Ethical Evolution. The Ethical Evolution podcast is brought to you by the Ethical Change Agency. I'm Bindi, CEO and founder, and I'm honoured to bring you the stories of those who create change through paying it forward and giving back. Ethical businesses and holistic healers who are determined to create collective change in the world. Once we have a change in consciousness, and through collective change, we can become one. My next guests were an Instagram find of goodness that made me realise there really are good people in this world who are wanting to make a collective change in the way we do things. The further I explored, the more I realised I had found my tribe, and this became even more apparent when we finally got the chance to chat and record this interview. We left each other energised and inspired, knowing this wouldn't be the first or the last time we would see each other. Betsy and Francis is a design agency founded by Nicole and James, a very happy couple who are committed to giving back to the planet whilst supporting ethical businesses to grow through branding and web design. Originally from Northern Ireland and Manchester, they now call Byron Bay home and create meaningful design for people that they believe in. Welcome, Nicole and James, to the Ethical Evolution.
Hi. So nice to be here.
Thanks so much for having us.
Oh, thank you so much for joining me. Now, can you tell us the background behind Betsy and Francis and how it came about?
Well, 2 years ago this month, actually, it's our anniversary. We weren't enjoying our jobs. We were both in corporate job roles as designers. We didn't really have much creative license, and we were doing jobs that we didn't really enjoy doing, and for companies that we didn't really want to support.
Yep.
And it was a bit like a eureka moment, wasn't it? I think
it did. I think it kind of all aligned. We kind of spent so many years of being designers, so we kind of gathered these skills, but it came to a stage where we wanted to use those skills for good. He says, Nicole's a designer, I'm a designer. He says, why don't we just design for ourselves?
Yeah.
And then once we did that, we're thinking, right, like who would we design it for, and like where we want to live, and kind of really start thinking about our future and all the work that we could do for people.
Yeah. It was just an idea we had. It was on a Tuesday morning. It was pouring down in Sydney, and we just did not want to get out of bed to go to work. And Tuesday is my least favourite day of the week. It's not anymore, but it used to be. It's like a bit of a nothing day, isn't it? When you've got work to do. And I just thought, why don't we just work for ourselves? And then just as soon as he said it, it was like it was set in stone of that is what we're going to do. And ever since then, it's been like a channel vision, hasn't it? Of just, we have to do it. Tunnel vision.
It totally has. Yeah. God, we've been going for 2.5 years. So
wow.
We've been thinking, since that kind of that conception from that idea from that really morning, we've just been working on it every single day. And then we spent the first 6 months, we were thinking about who do we want to do this work for? What do we want to, how can we use our skills to benefit the world around us? And we spent the first 6 months to a year just really finding out who we were, what we wanted to do, what our style was. So we had to do so many trial and errors, and we still do the trial and error to this day. But we're definitely really starting to get somewhere with it, which is just phenomenal.
That's so good to hear, guys. Now I'm curious, where does the name Betsy and Francis come from? Because it's clearly not your first names.
It's actually our middle name.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so James Francis Knight and Nicole Betsy Coburn.
Oh, that is so gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I do love that.
Yeah, we quite like that separation as well between, we're a couple at the end of the day, and I think Nicole and James we like to keep our own, individuality with that. So the Betsy and Francis is a nice separation, but still enough of us in there.
Yeah. I love that. That's gorgeous. Now, I could tell from, what you were just saying that you've got a real passion in what you do, and it sounds like you've found your purpose. How's everything flowing for you? Is everything becoming a lot more effortless for you now that you're on this path?
Yeah, I think it has been a lot of trial and error. It's been a lot of frustration at times and a lot of ups and downs, but we do in the last couple of months really feel like we're growing at a great rate now. We're starting to feel a lot more confident. I think we've always been designers, but we've never ever been marketers, salespeople, finance.
Yeah.
So all that stuff was extremely frustrating for us to try and learn at first. But we do feel like we're getting there. We've got automations in place, and we're getting more time to actually do the things we love, which is the design, instead of the admin drowning us. Because at one point, I think it was because I didn't even know how to write an invoice. I had to Google it. Our first client we had, I had to Google it.
Well, this is it. We get so good at, what our speciality is that we don't think about all the other business admin things that have to be done. So you really have to wear all the hats, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
So, yeah, we came into this with a huge passion for design, and we knew we wanted to do it for good and work with good people. But as you said, when it comes down to how do you keep a small business how do you keep it profitable so it allows you to keep on going? So yeah, we've had to learn that within the last kind of year or so, 2 years. So we've had a lot of time just really trying to figure things out. And yes, it's been a fantastic little journey so far, but we're really feel as if we're starting to get it together.
Yeah.
And now that we moved back up to Byron, we've got a new little home. So we're going to convert that into a studio. It's got a gorgeous little view. So we'll be able to have our dream little setup, and we're going to be so over it.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, I think the inspiration will come. We always get our inspiration, but I think, especially because we've been traveling around a lot, it'd be nice to see how much more it grows as soon as we've got, consistency in an office and, a routine in place. I think it'll just come on even more with leaps and bounds, won't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's exciting. We just love it.
Yeah.
We'd love to do a podcast as well ourselves one day. So definitely your inspiration.
I know someone who does podcasts. But yeah, I'll have to come visit you in Byron, and we'll chat podcasts. So
yes, definitely.
Tell us about the mission behind your design agency.
So our mission was to cultivate a business where through creativity we can make a difference in the world. We knew we wanted to leave our jobs and start our own business, and we knew we wanted to help people. And we really struggled at first to wonder how design could help people, apart from the visual side of things, people enjoying that side. We were trying to, how can it impact the environment? How can it change people's lives? So the idea was our mission is to help the people who need the design, who are creating good products or doing such good in their community. A lot of these people don't have the budget to get good branding behind them, and our idea was to really support these people. We charge a lot lower than a lot of, I think all branding agencies, just so that we can support these new entrepreneurs that want to start a business and need that extra help. So that's really where it came from. We feel like that was our calling. We've always been very environmental. We've grown up, litter picking with our parents, and just being really aware of what we consume and what we buy, and we wanted to channel that into a business, because I think otherwise we would never have been happy in a job that was just taken and not given.
Yeah. I totally agree. Where same with ourselves, where we see Betsy and Francis as being the ethical design agency that really gives to ethical and conscious small businesses. So anybody has a dream or a passion that they want that kind of gives back to the planet, that really gives back to the community, whether it's less packaging, whether it's kind of sustainable activewear, all these things that kind of give back to community, planets, kind of give positivity back. Yeah, that's the people that we want to be working with, and we see. I have a dream where all of these amazing small businesses are just popping up that are giving back to the planet. So yeah, definitely that's what we want to work towards. And we're definitely there with everybody that we've worked with so far. It's been absolute dream clients. We feel so lucky to have got this.
That's amazing, and that's where our purposes align really, really, really well, because the ethical change agency does pretty much exactly the same thing. So we support ethical small business owners and change makers, and also holistic healers to heal people to make a better world. So, the more that we can spread those ripples and have that collective change, that's massive, I think. Just absolutely.
It would. And for that just to be the norm will be amazing. For people not to put ethical, sustainable, conscious in front of their business name will show that everyone, it's just normal that people are doing things for a positive change now. And it's not just all about, profit.
Yeah. And look at us both light up when we talk about it. I mean, it just means so much. Now, I want to know what sets you apart from other designers, other than your ethical standards. From a design point of view, do you think your values influence what your creativity is?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's channeled our design into quite a unique space. I think I'm an illustrator, so a lot of my designs tend to be very earthy and natural, and we use quite natural colours. And I think the whole environmental approach has changed the way we design our work, and the simplicity used to communicate the messages that we want to communicate on behalf of the businesses that work with us. So I think in that respect, the space we have is like no other design-wise. Would you say?
It is. It is true. That is your best advantage, because whenever you're kind of coming into a space like this, you think, what can I bring to it? But it is your uniqueness, and it's that we've kind of had the experience of 10 plus years of design, and then we started in our own ethical design agency. We actually then evolved with our passions, our values, and who we work with. So our design style has also changed over the time as well.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful to see, because we create brands that are really eye-catching, that really get these small businesses noticed, whether it be illustration, amazing photography, beautiful fonts, all these things that kind of help these great brands really just shoot up and just get the success that they deserve.
Yeah, and I had a look at your portfolio online, and I could actually feel that earthiness and that natural feel to it, and it's very simple, and it communicates the methodology behind the brand. So you guys are doing an amazing job. I love it. It's really, really good.
Oh, thank you so much.
A lot of practice. Thank you so much.
There was a lot of stuff on there you've not seen. It didn't make the cut. Trial and error.
It's always the way. Look, I've been a designer too. I know what you're going through. Now, how would you define ethical in your business as far as your business practices go? How would you give it a definition?
I think it is just, I think apart from obviously the people that we work with, I think our whole life is very ethical. I think our morals are the way we live, what we buy, how we act, who we work with. I think that in a nutshell is just the way we are as people, and then we've channeled that through the business. I hope that's answered the question.
Yeah,
quite hard to.
It is. I think when you're a kind of a consciously minded person, you kind of look at the world and you kind of see all the good things that are going with the world, and you also see the things that are kind of damaging the world. So you want to be in a position that you want to really be in the part of that who gives back to the world, and you really want to reduce the stuff that kind of damages the world. So that's what we want to try, but we live that personally. So we want to then bring that across into the business, kind of connect with like-minded folk, and and whether it's beach cleanups, whether it's kind of giving back to the community, all these things. And have that really strong sense of, that kind of, if we can do this, we want to live in a better world, let's do it.
Yeah.
I think we're just trying to champion the companies that are doing well, and through that we live a very conscious life, and everything that we do outside of work is also part of that. So I think for us it was just, it's not just business, it's life as well, everything personal. is an ethical way of life.
Yeah, it's completely, yeah. We have a dream.
Yeah.
So our dream is, so whenever we're older, we have a couple of children. We have a farmhouse. On that farmhouse, we have composting, we have veggie patch, we have a couple of dogs, a couple of chickens, and then just really live just a nice, quiet, holistic life. And that we can create a business that kind of supports other small, conscious businesses that are out there doing good for the world. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's all we want.
That is living the dream. That is living the dream right there.
It is. It is. A bit of bacon as well.
Bit of bacon?
Yeah. Bit of banana bread. Bit of cake bacon. That'll finish off the dream nicely.
Let me know when you got the farmhouse. I'm coming over.
I know.
So how is your business helping the planet? So do you guys give back in any way to any charities or anything like that?
Well, we're currently in the process of applying for the 1% for the planet.
Yep.
So we're currently chatting to them at the moment. And really we've been talking about, we want to support another charity as well, but there's just so many, we're really trying to figure out which one is going to be the one, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. I think whenever we're a small business, we're as we're starting off, we have dreams of really supporting kind of like so many charities and giving back to local communities. So that's what we're driving towards, aren't we?
Yeah. And occasionally as well, we do sometimes chat to businesses that might need an extra hand and can't afford one, and that's another way of we do work for free occasionally for the businesses we think really need it and just don't have the budget.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're the two things. Mm-hmm. I think now that we're really getting established, it's nice to explore other ways that we can help as well.
Yeah. There's so many ways you can look at it, isn't there? Like, and it can be hard to narrow it down to, where does that, percentage of your revenue go? But I know at Ethical Change Agency, we actually do support our clients when we see that they need to be elevated. So we actually pitch in and help them get seen. So,
that's great.
Yeah, so things like that. And, there's a lot of other causes out there that I've got my eye on as well. So,
Yeah, too much choice.
Watch this space.
Yeah, there's so many good ones, like with Tom's, who gives the craft, Patagonia. Who else we got? We've got 20 dream kind of brands that we look up to. We use those as inspiration.
Yeah.
So the guys, Will and Burr, they do a fantastic job where they kind of give back. We buy hats from countries. So all these things that, at the end of the day, you don't want to be just buying a hat. You want to be buying a hat because it supports the community, it gives back to the planet.
Yeah. And buying things that last as well. So you don't need to buy another hat. You've got the hat and that'll
That's
do
right. Yeah. So as I was just saying, supporting ethical business is a big part of the ethos here at Ethical Change Agency. What kind of criteria do you use to define your ideal client?
I think we always just ask ourselves just one thing, and that usually is the business taking more than it gives, or is it giving more than it takes? And that usually straight away tells us whether we will work with that company or that business or individual. And that could be giving back to the environment or eco-friendly packaging or vegan skincare, or we get a lot of yogis come through as well who want to start their own community-based service where they help. And we had one, she was lovely, Laurie at the Flow Collective. She started her yoga to classes to help people who couldn't afford it, to help to encourage diversity amongst people down in Victoria, and open classes to anyone, any age, any race and culture. And she's doing amazing actually. And I think people like that are just doing so much good and giving so much back is who we work with.
Yeah, that's a great simple way to look at it. I love that. That's awesome. So do you have future plans for paying it forward through your business beyond what we've already spoken about?
I think so. I do definitely. So we kind of, I think we're just been a small business that have been going for 2 years. We're at the stage now where we're taking on so many hats, where we're looking at the marketing side, the cash flow. So once we get kind of more established and we kind of get to a nice little level where we can live comfortably, where we've got that little house environment where we can then we can start giving back, and it's a dream of ours to do that. I think the struggles is when you're a small business, kind of starting. It's really kind of getting it going, getting it up, and keeping that
momentum. Yeah.
Oh God, we'd love to do so much.
It's a really big part of the mindset, though, as well, isn't it? Like when you're starting up, you can get quite overwhelmed with all the things that you have to pay for and the things that you have to take care of, and you think, well, how the hell am I going to give back to someone else? And I think if you can do it in a way that it doesn't impact your business too much, but it actually helps grow it, I think that's where you find your sweet spot. And I think if it can be entrenched in everything you do and every decision you make, it can really make that decision a whole lot easier.
Yeah, it can. Like we do a lot of community. We do, the climate strike. We did that, and we do beach cleans, and we do all the stuff that just because we love it. But yeah, it is. There's always things that you want to do more of, I think. And then as a startup, it is difficult because, you do have to make sure that you can survive as well. And I think when you're a new business, it's really difficult to forecast, when money is going to come in or your salary is going to come in. And it's only like, a couple of years in that you start to breathe a bit more.
You get to come up for
So what have been your goals for this year and how are they going?
Our goal was
to Byron.
Our goal was to move to Byron to work up there. I think it's such an amazing community up there of creatives and businesses, and a lot of the businesses are ethical and sustainable, and they're doing such good for the planet. So I felt like we were kind of there was like a pull for us to be up there, and we just love it, don't we? We've only had 2 weeks up there now, but I can't wait till we live there full time.
I know. I wasn't aware of it. We always knew Byron was such a magical place, but living there for the last 2 weeks has been the sense of community, the sense of people doing good for the world, the climate strike, just everybody. I went to the post office the other day and I said, "How much is it for this envelope?" And it was 20. So I've only got my card. And he goes, "Here, have it for free."
Wow.
So it's that sense of community. That's that kind of sense of a small town community. So I know that next time I go into that post office, I'll be able to have a chat with them and tell them thank you very much. And it's a really nice, it's a nice feeling.
Yeah, it's lovely. They're very encouraging of other businesses, and there's no competition because everyone's so individual. So that was a really big goal for us, which we've managed to do. And probably the biggest of all was that we would be able to do the business full time and not have to rely on working for somebody else. And earlier this year, was it about April?
April time,
Yeah, James left his job, so we could do this full time. So that was our biggest goal, and we've managed to do it. And we just are over the moon that we are, self-sufficient, and now we can, go and live somewhere new and try it out.
It's a crazy adventure. It's a crazy journey where we had that idea 2 years ago, and then Nicole, you were able to leave your job back in November. So Nicole was working fully on the business then.
Yep.
And then I would work at the evenings and the weekends on it. And then I was able to leave my job come April time. And we went back home to visit our family for 3 months. And it was just a lot of kitchen tables, a lot of my mums, your mums. We were just working somewhere different.
Yeah. And it was just to get it off the ground. I think, Sydney rent, you know how expensive it is. And we couldn't afford to live here on the rent at that point unless one of us was working. So that was the decision we made to move home, live with mum and dad for a few months and get it going and get it off the ground. So they're the goals that we set, and we're just so happy that we've managed to.
And it's coming true. A lot of it, having that goal and just being so determined and knowing that it's going to work out, even in the most troubling times, and just really paving your way kind of forward through it, and it actually it works. So it's beautiful to see that dream that we've had is we're actually taking things off, being able to work for ourselves fully and move to a lovely little new home and all these things. So I think the next 6 months for us is going to be more amazing.
Yeah, and that extra time is meant that we can take on more clients. We're helping more people, we're helping more businesses, and we're making a greater impact on the environment and the community. So it's just a win-win. It's just amazing. We really can't believe that it's happened after that little idea we had. We're just so lucky.
You pinch yourselves a lot.
You're both beaming, can I just say? You are both beaming, and you are incredibly happy. It's like you're pinching yourself. You can't believe you are where you are. But it must have been a bit of a scary leap to leave full-time work and work for yourself.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
But what was some of the time you realised that you were going to leave your work and work fully on the business?
Oh yeah, I think I don't know. Like I think there was mixed emotions that day, wasn't there? I just couldn't stop either just going like screaming out of happiness, and then all of a sudden like this absolute fear of, oh my God, what are you doing? And I think that day I was just like either laughing or crying and laughing at the same time. And we just got a bit mad actually, haven't we? Because all we do is design and sit together and chat, and we kind of kiss goodbye to our social life for a while.
Sorry guys.
But it was it was so worth it. And we just can't believe it. That feeling is amazing.
I think it was, we try and keep little memories throughout all of our we have nights out, date nights and stuff. So it was that night in Bondi, and we wrote it in the back of a coaster. And Nicole says, this is the date that I handed my notice in. And she went in the next day and handed the notice in and worked fully on the business.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and we noticed a huge growth in the business with Nicole working fully on it.
Yeah.
And then whenever I left 4 months ago to work fully on it, we've noticed a huge growth again. Yeah. So now that we're back from visiting our families, and we have our own little place which we can kind of convert into a little studio.
Yeah,
it's in a bungalow. We call it the bungalow. And it's perfect. So we move into our new home next week. So that'll be a dream of ours.
Yeah, I think you just have to do it. I think you've probably felt the same, where it just comes from nowhere, and you just think, I can't do this for anyone else now. This has got to be for us and for our future and for the good of everyone else. So that night I completely forgot about that. I just went, I'm going to quit tomorrow. Do you think I should? And then he's like, well, yeah, because at least there's one wage coming in. We just thought, you know what? And then the next day, and everyone was like, are you sure you want to leave? You've not really mentioned that you're unhappy. And I was like, no, that's it. We're done. It's going to be full time. We're going to do this. And I think everyone was like, they are crazy. They're never going to make this work. And God, with a bit of a rumble and stumble and a tumble, we've managed to get there, clinging on sometimes, but yeah.
But really, guys, your passion shines through, and I think you are just going to attract the people that you need to help. And it's so going to work out for you. I can see it. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you so much.
Now, how can we support you and get involved with Betsy and Francis?
I would say just spread the word of what we're doing. I don't think there's many other design agencies out there that are doing quite what we're doing. I think there's a lot of great ethical agencies out there, but I think really just try and spread the word as much as possible, and also just try and be a little bit more ethical and sustainable in their own way. And if they're thinking of starting a business, think about starting a conscious business, and think of it what's truly going to make you happy. I think we're so happy because we work with people that are so happy as well, because they've done what they really truly believe in, and they've done the right thing as well. And you're just bouncing off each other. So I would say just really think about what you're doing business wise, and just make sure that you can be as conscious as possible.
Yeah. So to spread the word about Betsy and Francis, what's your website?
So I've got a bit of an accent, so you're probably safe.
I think I've got a bit of an accent as well, James. I think everyone listening to this probably thinks I do. So it's www. Do I even say that anymore? BetsyandFrancis.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, just spotting those accents, where are you both from?
I'm from Ireland, the Northern Ireland, and Nicole is from Manchester in England. But my accent has definitely, as strong as it is, it's definitely a lot less than what it used to be.
Yeah, when we're on the phone to our parents, we get off, and all of a sudden, the accent intensifies quite a bit. Yeah,
I have to pronounce my words more.
Yeah, he pronounces his name Jims, not James. So I have to say his name for him to other people because everyone always says Jim.
So I really struggle for coffee in the morning. When I get coffee in the morning, every time I get a cup of coffee, it's just like Jims. Is Jims here?
Yeah,
you need
to kind of say
You need a coffee name. I do that because I say Bindi and I get Mindy. I get all kinds of stuff. So you need a coffee name. Yeah. Just say Joe. Just say something like that.
Joe.
You need a coffee name.
Do you want an E or do you not want an E? Do you want a J-O? How do you want it spelled? Because you might get that wrong
as well. Now, I'm going to ask all of our guests on the ethical evolution, what's the change you'd like to see in the world and how can we bring it to life?
God, we've got like 6 kind of key messages, don't we?
Yeah.
Less plastic for one.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love to see compostable packaging. We'd love to see everything that's created can kind of either dissolves or it never lasts forever. We want to have cleaner oceans.
Yeah. Population to be strong. That'd be amazing. I think less packaging. There's, stop wrapping vegetables up in cling film.
I know,
it does
right?
That in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
More trees.
More trees everywhere.
People to educate themselves more, to read, to be open-minded and kind of look up the climate emergency and just see how just the state that it is and how they can kind of benefit the world, whether it's, kind of, there's so much you can do. So any little way helps.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just saying to someone the other night, like, look at the mindset we've had change around plastic bags and coffee cups, just that alone, the change that we've had there. If we keep rolling on this, there can be massive collective change here.
Yeah. But it needs to come from the top down, doesn't it? It needs to be the governments, and they need to just put the ban on because, until that happens, people will still use the cheapest version for their business, or some businesses won't, but a lot of businesses will, and I think it needs to be the governments that says, right, we're banning plastic as of 2050. There's no more plastic to be produced, but it's unfortunately some of the politicians we have are not the best people.
Yeah, it comes from both. It comes from small and big changes from people like lower ground, and then it comes from the governments as well. So if the governments won't change until there's a group of people really demanding this, so it's kind of fighting for that. I had an idea, so I did.
Oh yeah.
So
what did I?
I had it last week. So it was, if I can get this going,
all right.
So it is #refuse-to-use.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you can do the #refuse-to-use, and then it's any kind of the products that are really damaging the world.
Yep.
You are a marketer.
No, it was a great idea.
Good.
I used to work in an advertising agency, so I have all these little neat tricks and ideas sometimes.
Well, let's get that trending, and
we should
find some products that we refuse to use.
Yeah.
So I might even set up an Instagram account just for that.
Yes.
Yeah, you should. That'd be really good.
So
yes.
You can do refuse to use data, or you can refuse to use data.
Yeah. It's like that Take 3 for the sea.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. And I thought of a spin-off, Take 4 for the forest. It's not as great, but I think with a bit of work, it might work.
Oh, you guys are amazing. And like a lot of people say change isn't going to come from the government. It's got to come from us, I think. And as hard as we try, I think if we start the ball rolling, they just have to follow. So,
yeah, it is true. The power of what Greta has achieved. One girl has managed to create such an impact. So I do think everyone can do the bit. It's something small, but it would create a big change. I think everyone, no matter how powerful or small you are, everyone should just do a little bit, and before we know it, we'll be in a better world.
That's it.
It's phenomenal to see. When we were up in Byron last week and we had the climate emergency strike, God, just the young ones, the drive, the passion from them. I was like, yes, so good to see, good to see. And you want to feed that passion. You want to say what you're doing is amazing, and just grow and grow and grow with it.
Yeah. And if we get the momentum at that age, look at where we can go as a generation.
Exactly.
So
I know, what a generation. How proud would you be if all the parents out there that had the children going to the protest? I just think it's just, we're safe, with them. They're going to be the people in charge one day, and they're going to, really care.
Yeah. Well, every little bit counts. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. It has been an absolute joy connecting with you. And I am going to send people your way when they need a designer, because you guys are amazing. I'm not going to do it for them. You guys can do it. But just to recap again, if you want to get in touch with Nicole and James from Betsy and Francis, it's betsyandfrancis.com, right?
Yes, it is. We're on Instagram. We're quite big on, we're on Instagram a lot. So at Betsy and Francis as well. We'll, they can message us from there as well.
Yeah, which is actually where I found you, because you have amazing Instagram.
All these compliments. I'm actually going a bit red.
Oh, she's blushing. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Ethical Evolution podcast. If you're an ethical business owner, change maker, or holistic healer who's determined to make a change in the world and you need support to spread your message, then visit ethicalchangeagency.com to collaborate.
Welcome to the Reverie channel, where entertainment knows no bounds. Live concerts, on-demand music, documentaries, and short films, all in stunning HD. Now on Roku TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Immerse yourself from home. And on Android and iOS for those on the move. Support creators with crowdfunding donations. Fuel their creativity. Join us in shaping entertainment's future. The Reverie channel, where every view, every donation matters.
Hey there, I'm DC. I host the rock podcast, Back to the Arena, The Interviews. It's about a 30-minute podcast where I talk one-on-one with a band who has released new music. You can find us on all the best podcast sites like Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, and more. If you're a rock fan like me, subscribe today to Back to the Arena, The Interviews.
Electricast. Electricast.